We'll look at verse 3 of Sadhu Om's prayers.
முன்னிலை பாலிச்சு பயமோகமுற்று பொன்னே நிலை தடுமாறி புலம்பும் ஈசனன் மேலண்ணா மலைவடிவே நீ கடை கண்பை.
Let's look at the poetic translation of this verse by Robert. Upon body and world, my thoughts I fixed. Though neither of these, apart from the self, exist, seeing that world as other than myself, its desires, fears, and delusion, all I felt. As I wander, lost and vainly grieve, may you, whose forms are anomaly, deign to cast your gracious eye on this worthless cur, wretched me. So in this verse, let's look at the first half, where he says, upon body and world, my thoughts are fixed. And that's where the problems start. And then that leads to all this desires, fears, and delusion. And look at some comments on this concept here. As Bhagavan implies in verse 25 of Ulladu Narpadu, grasping is the very nature of ego, meaning I am the body sense. And ego's grasping is what we call desire. So desire will exist so long as we rise and stand as ego. Desire and fear are two sides of the same coin. Because if we desire something, you'll fear to lose it. For example, we desire life, so we fear death. And if there were no desire, there would be no fear. So both desire and fear are the very nature of ego. Therefore, we can eradicate them only by eradicating ego. Any comments or questions on this? So Michael goes on to say, so when ego dies, desire, fear, and all worlds will all cease to exist along with it, because they seem to exist only in its view. Okay. And then in the second half, so basically the devotee says, he realizes it, and then now he's surrendering. As I wander, lost and vainly grieve, may you, whose forms are anomaly, deign to cast your gracious eye on me. So let's look further on the concept of this desire and fear, and how exactly we can get freedom from them. To the extent that we gain viveka, we will be free from the bondage of desire and fear. So how to gain viveka? When we turn within to attend to ourselves, we are facing the original light of pure awareness. So that light will clarify our mind, and the resultant clarity of mind is what is called viveka. Therefore, the more we cling to self-attentiveness, the more viveka will shine in our mind, and the fruit of viveka is bhakti, love to surrender ourselves by subsiding back into our source, and vairagya, freedom from desire, and consequently from fear also. When our mind is agitated by desire and fear, it is liable to think obsessively, and insomnia is a result of such obsessive thinking. Therefore, whenever you find that you are unable to sleep, the most effective means to calm the tired mind and allow it to subside peacefully in sleep is to try to be self-attentive. So, Michael mentioned this in a different context, but I thought I'll bring this also here. Because desire and fear, the more we have those, the more we are obsessed about it. And myself including, I know many who have problems. That obsession finally leads to, you're thinking about it so much, you're having trouble sleeping. The best way to deal with it is atma vichara, self-attention. So I want to stop here and see if there are any comments. Anybody personally wants to share their experiences on this?
I like this last quote. I think a lot of us can relate to this. This is definitely, we've had days where you come back, maybe you've been at work all day, your mind is so, overtaken by what's happened, the events of the day, work, family, all this stuff, and you're just laying in bed at night and like, why can't I shut my mind off? Why does it keep, it's just like, and this is definitely, it's kind of like quicksand, that's what the world is. The more you're in it and the more you feel yourself to be a part of it, the more it draws you in. So this is why the self-attentiveness is so important, because it's really the only remedy to, it's like kind of, saying, being in a dream and wanting some verification from the dream to tell you it's real or something like that, right? So to be in the world and to be thinking you're in the world, your mind is just going to go further and further, agitation, more desires, more fears. And then, the only way to really put a stop to it and any kind of permanent passion is to just, reflect back within.
Right. This is actually a very practical tip. We're not even talking about something beyond reach. It's very practical in the sense, like, this way, as Yazan pointed out, day in and day out, a lot of us have this problem. To the extent that we are deep and involved in worldly things, this can come and sometimes it can hit you. So self-attention really has helped me dealing with this. Even yesterday night I woke up at 3 o'clock, and then I don't know how I'm going to just get the sleep back. And then I had to just do a few minutes of self-attention to knock off, thoughts and then get back to sleep. So those and subconsciously what drives it is all those desires and fears and anxiety and so forth. And self-attention is a powerful weapon to do with our daily things, whether it is anything related to work or sleep and so forth.